Right, cutting. The scary bit. It's a little bit scary, but it's okay once you get used to it. Right. What I normally do is start from one side and work your way all around. This glue is not quite dry. I thought it might be beneficial. It's dry to the touch. I thought you might be able to see it a little bit better if there's some still of the white left. So when you're first starting out, I think it's probably best to start at the back because it's not quite so nerve-wracking. So what I do is I make the tiniest little cut just underneath on the outside of the glue line, not the inside, which is the topper base side, on the outer side. There's a dog hair. I do apologise for my doggies as well, they're on my bed at the minute, so I think they're in some of the shots. So in the middle, pinch up the fabric and make the tiniest little cut there. When you pull it, you can see the little hole, okay? So what you do then is you slide your scissors underneath, make sure there's no hair caught, and make your first cut, okay? And go slowly, a little bit at a time. Once you're used to it, you can zip along quick, but until you've got that confidence with it, take your time. And it gets a little bit more tricky as well when you get to the side there because of the angle. So follow that line. You can always tidy up any rough edges afterwards, okay? You can see underneath there, the bottom wefts are still attached, okay? So a little bit at a time. And then we're starting to go on the angle. So you have to gently push your scissors through that weft and cut, okay? It's very difficult not to lose a little bit of hair from the wefts, but it'll be underneath, so it won't show. But just be careful not to do it too much. Now there's another weft coming up. There's the stitching across. Snip. Another weft. Snip. Make sure there's no hair above the scissors. Another weft coming up. Pop your scissors through into the weft. Snip. Let me show you on the other side. See how, look, the stitching comes undone instantly. That's why it's so much easier to put the glue on first. Right, underneath, still following that outer line of the glue. Another weft. Right, now we're at the ear tabs. So we want to make sure that that top bit is out of the way. Most of that, all of that is coming off. Obviously, if you're leaving the ear tabs on, then you're just cutting straight along in between those two wefts, straight to there, and then you cut through the elastic ties at the side and the very outer elastic of the wig. Just cut straight through. Okay, you can absolutely put a little bit of glue on there across that stitching just to secure that. But yeah, it's much easier if you're leaving the ear tabs on, to be honest. I wish I could, but I can't because of my glasses. So let's have a look where the finger's going to be going. Right, so I would move that hair out of the way because you're going to be cutting through there. Clear that. And then scissors through underneath that weft. Cut. Cut. There. Okay, so that's what we've cut off. There will be some loose hairs, but all of those were remaining. Now, what you can do is, I would recommend, once you've finished cutting all the way around, I would put an additional line of glue just on there, just to join it up with the hedge, just to strengthen it and to make sure that nothing comes undone. See what I mean by budget wig? Look, see the weft. You could snip that bit off if you wanted, glue. That sort of thing you don't get with the more expensive wigs. They're made a little bit better with more attention to detail. So yeah, I would put additional glue around there, give it a good sort of soak into the fabric. You could put a little bit underneath there, stick that together, and that will ensure that nothing comes unravelled. And what you can do, which I probably will do because I've done quite a fine line, is I would, once I finish cutting all the way around, I would do an additional line of glue a little bit wider all the way around so that it properly edged the topper. And when you're on the angled section, you can see those wefts. You can trim those little bits there, just trim them off, and I'll put a little bit of glue on there all the way around just to make sure that it was nice and stuck. You can put a little bit of glue under there if you want to ensure that that weft is secure. And now we go round back the other way again. Scissors underneath the fabric on the outer side of the glue. Make sure there's no hair in between the scissors and the fabric. Coming up to the angle. First weft. Scissors under, snip. Make sure there's no hair caught. Another weft. Snip. No hair caught. Another weft. Snip. No hair caught. Another weft. No hair caught. Another weft. Move this out of the way. We're on the last section now. Move that out of the way for cutting. Up to that last bit. There. Okay, so there we are. There's the section. Let's separate that. There's the section you've cut off. Now see what I'm I mean, when I said about making sure that you had the right wig, all of that is cut off. It seems a shame, but when I first started, I used it to practice styling on, using your straightening irons, curling tongs, whatever. I use this to practice. You could make like a ponytail, clip on. What I have done, which I think I'll probably do another tutorial on as well, is if I've needed to add any additional wefts, so like all the way around your wig, if you think like, I don't know, the gaps are a bit wide in between wefts, you can undo the stitching, okay, remove the weft and glue it in between. So you glue it in there, so you give yourself, increase the density and coverage of your wig. You can add wefts on the inside if you want to add like if you've got a similar wig in a different colour, you could put different colours in. Oh, it's honestly, they're so versatile. You can really tweak your crowns, as it were. So right, move that out of the way, and here we have our newly created topper. Obviously this one, the glue is still a bit wet, so yeah, I would absolutely add some additional glue there all the way around the edge. Leave that overnight to properly set, and then you're ready for stitching in your combs. Okay, that's it. It's as easy as that, which I know maybe I've made it look not so easy, but it is. Once you get the hang of it, you can do it really quickly. Usually when a new wig arrives, I'll make a decision whether I want an ordinary topper or a 360 topper. I'll put the glue on, leave it overnight, cut it, stitch my combs in the following morning, and it's ready to go. It's such an easy thing to do. So we'll see you at the comb stitching.